love is not always there. So you actually need to like the person that you are with. If you can't have a conversation with that person, if you can't, just enjoy the person sitting next to you, if you can't like handle just like just that quality time, because that's inevitably what's gonna happen when you're married one day, I think. Yeah. What's up, everybody, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for joining me for week 2 of this relationship month, should I say. Here on Stay Beautiful, we are all about staying beautiful, knowing your beauty inside and out, and focusing on 3 main topics, which is spiritually, mentally, and physically. And I think when it comes to relationships, it encompasses all of those 3 things. So for this video, I'm going to be speaking about the 5 stages of relationships according to Dr. Susan Campbell. She studied this topic of relationships and studied many couples in order to come up with these 5 stages that every relationship goes through, and it's not something that is just stagnant in one type of time period of your life or time frame or age, but it's something that happens whether you are in a relationship, starting out a relationship, whether you're dating, whether you're in a relationship, whether you are married, all of that. So whether you are in any of those categories, this is something for you. So keep on watching. So the first stage is all about the romance stage. We all know, the infatuation stage, the puppy love, all of that. Dr. Susan says that this stage can last from 2 months all the way up to 2 years, maybe even longer. This period of time is where you see nothing wrong, no red flags or anything like that. You are just getting to know this person. You just want to know all the good things about them. You want to feel good around them. Everything that they do is just like, oh, it's okay because I really like them. They say the right stuff, they do the right stuff, and you just want to be around that vibe. She actually goes back that the way this feeling is formed was like all the way like from the Stone Age. Basically, we can biblically we can go to Adam and Eve, where God said be fruitful and multiply. So people formed this love, and they were able to connect with one another and just had that intimacy with one another. She actually says in the romance stage that opposites attract, right? Because she says that there are people that see their weaknesses as strength in someone else, and vice versa, and that is how they are compatible with one another. So that's why the opposite attracts phrase is there, because the fact that you are compatible with one another in that sense. But you see, when it comes to this stage, like I mentioned before, you don't see those red flags, you don't see those negative things about the person. You do maybe, but you choose to overlook it. And which comes to our second stage, which is the power struggle stage. Now guys, in this stage, people can be in this stage, according to Dr. Susan, for many years. She said there was even a study where a couple over 50 years was in this stage. Not saying that they didn't go through any other stages after this, but they didn't resolve the stage properly enough in order to go to the next stage. So when it comes to her 5 stages, it's all about learning from the one and going into the next one, and learning from that one and going into the next one. So you take all the different from stage 1 all the way to stage 5, and you grow through all of them and you work through all of them, right? So when it comes to the power struggle stage, this is when you realize those red flags. This is where you see the person for who they truly are, and this is when you see that, wow, we actually don't have a lot of things in common, and you are not liking the person at all. That attraction is not there anymore, that infatuation, that love is not there, and now you are butting heads, you're angry with one another, you're disappointed in certain things, you try to communicate but it's not happening, and there are all those conflict that happens. Now, in order to move to the next stage, you need to resolve those things, and a way that you can resolve those things is actually by communicating with one another. You actually need to sit down with one another and be like, okay, so this is my goals, this is where I see myself in 5 and 10 years time, this is what I don't like about you, this is how I want you to treat me, all these things. This is how my past relationships went, and I didn't like that about myself, I didn't like that about that person, what I want to change in my future, what I want, all of those things. If you feel like this is the person that you want to spend the rest of your life with, you need to have those type of conversations. You can't be afraid to ask those questions. If you are afraid to ask those questions, red flag. So you need to ask those questions. If for some reason there is still conflict, you can't resolve it, maybe the other person think that you are full of nonsense, why are you acting like this, why are you asking me these questions, all of that type of stuff. If they don't give you a clear answer, and then they just, some of them, whether it's male or female, will just give you the answers that you want to hear, and you need to take that as a red flag. You actually need to have a conversation with one another, from person to person, because you are two different people with two different upbringings, two different childhoods, and now you need to actually, when you're getting married one day, you need to work together in order to say, okay, this is what I like, this is what I like, are we compatible, do we have the same values, do we have the same models, do we have the same way we want to raise our children, do we have the same way on how we want to grow in our lives together. You need to have that same goal and end in mind in order to support one another, right? And if you are not there with one another, red flag. If you are willing to grow with that person, then you can't get upset if that person is not getting there. If you want that person to be accountable for you and want you to be there to support you, then you need to accept that that person is going to be hard on you. The people that is going to support you, the people that's going to be there for you, the people that's going to push you, is the people that loves you the most, because they want the best for you, right? So I'm not saying that they need to be rude or disrespectful or anything. Everything needs to be in a respectful way. No abuse should ever happen, whether it's verbal, mental, physical, sexual, whatever. Red flag. So if that occurs in this power struggle stage, just see it as a red flag. It's not happening. If he doesn't change his ways, if she doesn't change his ways, if you guys set goals and boundaries for one another and that doesn't happen. Anyway, so the third stage is the stability stage. So now you've come to the point where you had these conversations, and now you're like, I am willing to deal with all your wrongs. I'm willing to deal with all your bad characteristics and all that type of stuff. I'm willing to take you for you, no matter what, no matter if I don't like the fact that you don't wash the dishes, I'll accept that. Like, we can do it together, or I'll do it. You work through those things. Silly example, but I hope you get it. So that is the stability stage, where you are at in terms of, okay, you're working through, or you have worked through rather, the power struggle, those questions, those things. Now you're in the stability stage, where now the love comes back, and you're like, oh, I love this person for exactly who he or she is, and we are going strong, and we are going to work together, we're going to grow together, and whatever situation comes our way, I know that I can rely on this person. I know this person is there for me, and we support one another, and we can grow together, right? And then the fourth stage is the commitment stage. So this doesn't only mean that, okay, I am going to get married to this person and we should get engaged and all that. Yes, that is that, but it also means that I am committed to this person, that no other person, I don't want to be with any other person. I just want to be with this one person. So whether marriage is in the future, or it's something that you are planning towards now, it's something that is, obviously this relates to each couple differently, but if that is where you are going, so say now if you are just courting and you are you spoke through some of those things, and you know, now you're thinking, okay, wow, I actually want to date this person, I actually want to make this person, you know, my boyfriend and my girlfriend, then that is where your commitment stage comes in. And now it's not just about, you know, I'm in love with you again as a stability stage. Now I'm like, okay, if you're gonna mess up, I love you and I'm gonna be there for you, and we are committed to one another, and we're gonna move forward from whatever, you know, stumbling block one of us falls into. We're gonna be there, we're gonna pull each other out of it, and we're gonna grow together. And also in that stage, you need to know that, you know, love is not always there, so you actually need to like the person that you are with. If you can't have a conversation with that person, if you can't, you know, just enjoy the person sitting next to you, even if that person is reading a book and you are watching TV, or if they're on their cell phone and you are busy with something else, if you can't like handle just like that, just that quality time, because that's inevitably what's gonna happen when you're married one day, I think. Yeah. So I wouldn't know, but that's what I'm saying. Like, you need to at least need to be okay with the person. You need to like the person that you are with, because love is gonna fall away, and then you're gonna see the person, you know, with rose in their hair or a swirl coat, or you're gonna see them not washed for so many days. This can go for girls or boys, but it's exactly that. So you, in this commitment stage, you need to take all of that into account. And obviously, like, respect goes a long way. So if, you know, that person respects you, respects your family, respects the people around you, that, you know, goes beyond. That is like something that you should even, that is something you should think about through all these stages. The last stage, which is the bliss stage. So when it comes to the bliss stage, this is when Dr. Susan speaks about now you as a couple are now doing something together in order to achieve something. So this could either be, she gives examples like starting a business, or having a child, getting married, doing a project together. Anything of those sorts is something that, you know, you take as like your little baby, and then you run with it as a couple, something that you both are passionate about and you're working on together. And that also builds, you know, your relationship with one another. It also builds how you guys understand one another. And those are your 5 stages of relationships. Now, I do want to end off with saying that, like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, that with this stages, it can happen throughout your relationship with this person. Anything can happen, and then, you know, you are all of a sudden back into the power struggle stage, which Dr. Susan mentions. When you're growing with one another, just know the fact that, you know, whatever stage of your life, that person is there with you. So you are growing together, which means you're gonna change, that person's gonna change, and the power struggle will happen again, because now you're not the same person that you were how many years ago, which I think I mentioned in my 5 love languages video. So I will pop that link down below, because it's definitely something that you wanna take the quiz that is on that video as well. And then also know what your love language is, know what your partner or your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your spouse, whatever, know what their love language is, so that you can help one another and be compatible with one another, and have a good communication with one another, right? And I don't mean talking. That's all from me. Thank you guys. I hope you guys really enjoy it, and if you have any other questions or anything about these 5 stages or anything that I mentioned, please do leave it in the comment section below, or you can email me, DM me on my social handles. And remember, stay beautiful. Mwah.